Hey there, everyone. Thanks for listening to Limited Engagement. I'm your host for the show, Jared Duran, and this is LE 110, which is it's a very special edition of the show. I'll get to that in just a moment. Recording, apparently, if that's a thing. Recording for the first time in the new place. It's under construction. The place isn't under construction, but I got everything in, including the cat, which that was a whole fucking ordeal. And I got the furniture built. I mean, I needed to have the desk because I needed to be able to do this, and had got the bed together, but not in time to sleep on it. So I ended up actually falling asleep in the office chair here, which that was uncomfortable. And put the bookcase together this morning, and it's not going to be nearly enough space. But now that I'm actually in here and can kind of see what I'm working with room wise, I have a better idea of what to get to take up the rest of the wall space. So here's the little story of, like, I'm not going to go over the entire move because that's something else. It's fine. Whatever. It's, I thought I had help. Didn't so much really have help. And so moved, it's 90% of the stuff myself, but that's, again, it's done. It's fine. But actually getting Susu over here from the old office, I couldn't get her into the crate. She hates being in the crate. She has been loose in the car before. It's a short drive. It'll be fine. But she just started flipping out. First thing she did was get on the back of on the top of the passenger seat and pee. So that was good. Then proceeded to get under my feet and actually caused me to rear end an old couple. And I'll come back to that. And then she got in under the dashboard, which I don't... She's magic, apparently. This chunky cat wedged herself into the tiniest space possible. And so to come back to the accident itself, everybody, I think, is okay. There's some minor fender damage. That all is going to be what it's going to be. But this was essentially just the last straw for the whole day. And, the cherry on the top of the shit cake, as it were. And it was... I don't even know. I'm just beyond worn out. I'm beyond just done. I need to regroup and get back into whatever sort of semblance of normal life I can do. And, hopefully that can proceed now, because in the new place, Susu's here. Car's okay. The old gentleman was in disbelief that there was a cat loose in there until he heard her underneath there. And then he's asking me my situation, and like I said, just, this is my last day here. This was my last trip back to the apartment, was to the new place, was with this cat. Just broke up with my girlfriend, and kind of just put it all out there. And he's like, "Oh man, you're having a rough day." I'm like, "Yeah, you're telling me." But then he proceeded to tell me that they were on their way to see his dad in hospice. And that's just, I felt, I don't even know. It's one of those things, those fluke things, right? It's like the beginning of Magnolia. And these things happen. I don't have a good Ricky Jay voice, otherwise I would try to turn that on. But I don't. But like I said, I'm in the new digs. This is where I'm recording from. It's a little cramped, but I like it. And once I stop living out of boxes and, have the chance to get everything unpacked and really settled, then I'll start to feel a little better, I think. But it's going to take a while because I got to get some more furniture first, and I have a lot of stuff. But to today's episode, I had the opportunity to record this event. I was asked if I wanted to record this event that was occurring at the Tempe Changing Hands. It's called Birds and Bards. And I couldn't turn it down. It's a benefit. It was a benefit for the Audubon Society of Arizona, and it was in the name of a long time friend of Changing Hands, somebody who'd worked there for a long time, apparently long enough back that he worked there when my uncle worked there, Wayne Lundgren. And he basically donated his artwork, bequeathed it to the Audubon Society to raise money from the sale of it. And so this event was a coming together of people to honor Wayne and to also hear some poetry from not just people who knew Wayne, but also, well, let's just go on down the list here. There's it was David Chorlton, Chris Cokinos, Rosemarie Dombrowski, Michelle Frost, Claudia N de Ibieta. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that name, and I apologize. And Pinna Joseph. It was a really fantastic event. The energy in the room was one of reverence and a celebration of somebody's life, and it was a beautiful thing to be there to see, and then also to get it recorded. And I just thought, other than just putting this out there as a one-off, that it's not part of a series, it's a special event kind of thing. I suppose I could put up a page on Hoot and Waddle for it and just leave it there in a sound player. But I wanted people to be able to have access to it, and it seemed like I'll break with the format of limited engagement for this occasion and put this on there as the episode for the week. And that way people can hear it and download it and come back to it, and it's out there for everyone. And Claudia is the one who organized the event with Rosemarie, and Claudia is the one who asked me to if I would be interested in recording it. And I met some of these people for the first time, but some of them are good friends, and so like I said, I couldn't turn it down, and I think that you all will enjoy this, even though it's not an hour and a half, 2 hours of me talking to somebody. I think that you can. I know I need a break from me, so maybe you all can stand one as well. And in the spirit of that, let's go ahead and get into this special edition of the show, a presentation of Birds and Bards. And I'll just talk to you just a little bit on the way out on the other side.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Everyone can hear all right back there? All right. So, welcome everyone to Changing Hands Bookstore, Tempe's favorite indie bookstore. Celebrating 45 years this month. So, thanks to the community for the community's collective passion. I'm only going to speak a few minutes and then invite you all to enjoy a few things over on the side, and then we'll start the reading later. But thank you for your attention for just a few minutes. As I want to tell you a little bit about what we have in store today. My name's Claudia. I'm a bookseller here, and it's my great honor, and it's my great pleasure, and I'm deeply grateful that each of you are here for Birds and Bards, a reading and benefit for Audubon, Arizona, featuring the art of Wayne Lundgren. And we're going to take just a few minutes to tell you briefly about the artist and hear about the profoundly important work that Audubon, Arizona is doing in our community. And then we'll enjoy some refreshments, as I mentioned, and art. And the poetry reading will begin at 6:30. So, before you get up and enjoy refreshments and peruse the artwork, I want to say a few words about Wayne Lundgren, who was our dear friend and bookseller at Changing Hands. Wayne Lundgren left the Midwestern United States for the Southwest sometime in the 1980s. He soon joined Changing Hands Bookstore and stayed through the mid-2000s. He was an integral member of this family and a pillar of book and bookstore knowledge. And as a friend, as an individual, he was a keeper of the flame of friendship. By the age of 60, though, he was ready to leave city limits, live closer to nature, and pursue the craft that called to him. Relocating first to New Mexico and then to Oregon, he gardened, woodworked, wrote, and painted every remaining day of his life. His creations are imbued with a sincere intention of evoking joy and poetry and a commitment to cherish and protect our natural world. True to his values, he used humble and often recycled and repurposed materials such as salvaged wood and picture frames. And because birds were his first and favorite muses, we, his friends and family, decided that we agreed on this, and we also feel certain that Wayne's art should continue to bring its keepers the joy he intended and to do good in his name. We can think of no worthier cause than the important work that Audubon, Arizona is doing in our community. I'd now like to welcome the Development and Communications Coordinator for Audubon, Arizona, Morgan Moore, who will tell us a little bit more about this important work, and then we'll break for refreshments and art browsing. Morgan Moore of Audubon, Arizona.
Thank you, Claudia. And thank you, as well as all of the members of Changing Hands, for inviting Audubon, Arizona, and welcoming us to attend the event and be the recipient of the sales of Wayne's art. They're lovely if you haven't seen them yet. I'm a really big fan of the bird sculptures. And so for those who are not familiar, Audubon, Arizona is the state office here of the National Audubon Society, which is a bird conservation organization. Our mission is to